Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered you here today on this Monday, bars already. Welcome, come one, come all. Everybody's gonna come. But ladies and gentlemen, rejoice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Monday. We're coming in a little slow, but hot today. Yeah. That was a little too fast, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't feeling that. All right, we're putting on another one that was too short. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna do this for you. Okay, this is for you. Ooh, child. There's no auto-tune. That's all me. And a little reverb, bringing the echo. Monday. Fuck everyone who ate boneless wings over the weekend. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what the fuck that was. Sometimes you just feel it. And listen, my voice isn't even woken up yet, okay? And I'm bringing it to you on a Monday, okay? Perhaps there was a first-time listener. That was the podcast that they decided to check out for the first time, and that's what they walked into. They're probably like, 7 minutes in heaven. Let's see what this is about, this 7-minute-long podcast. I had people tell me in the beginning, so it's like 7 minutes? No, dummy. But you know what? I could see how you would think that. But at the same time, how dare you? Back to the people, their first time listening to the podcast, come in and they're like, oh, this is a Christian podcast. Very cool. Because that's what that felt like. Whenever you get in a situation where you just got piano playing like this, and it's just, people are going to get weirdly sexual, okay, and say a lot of very suspect stuff. Very sus, as the kids call it. No capping. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to let me inside of you today, okay? Forgive thy neighbor if he coven thy wife, especially if I'm your neighbor, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hold hands with the person next to you, and I want you to let the Lord come inside of you, in front of each other, okay? Huh? Well, don't forget to tithe this week. Put a little bit of money in the hat. Keep it moving, pimpin'. Gary, I saw you just pass it by. Don't let that happen again. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Are we probably going to be struck dead by lightning? Yeah, we probably are. Just for that. But it's okay, because guess what? A lot of views for the podcast. If people find out that God shown his face through a natural disaster like lightning striking me with death, the podcast is going to get quite the views, okay? And at the end of the day, what is life not about if it's not about content, everything, content. I swear to God, I'm so tired of people just making content. That's why me in my private life, I'm pretty private, okay? I'll be honest with you guys. Pretty private with some avenues of my life. I like to have a lot of moments where it's just, you had to be there. You just enjoyed that moment. It wasn't blown up. The last thing I want to do is take an aspect of my personal life and be like, oh, this is content, and then make content out of it. Because you know what you feel like? A hooker. You feel like a hooker when you're just like, yeah, let me exploit this just to get some content. Yeah, hooker. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This isn't a Christian podcast, okay? I know some people have been duped in the past, myself included. You ever have people who they're like, I think all religions do this. All religions in all groups, whether you're a cult or even a fucking MLM, fucking pyramid schemes are still out there. They're just getting clever. Okay, they're adapting. They can't just be like, I'm a regular pyramid scheme. It's like, no, I'm going to make you a business owner. Fuck out of here. Sorry, I choked on water right now. I was dying. I feel like I've been in situations where it's like, oh man, you seem pretty cool. We got this group that we're, when I was like 15, they're like, yeah, you come check out our group. We got fucking basketball. We got board games. We got all this stuff. And we just like to hang out. We play tag. We got all these cool games. And then like somewhere in there, they're like, yeah. And then like, we do this cool Bible verse quiz at the end. I'm like, whoa. What did you say? What about the basketball? No. After that, laser tag? You son of a bitch, I'm in. You want to get me to your church function? Have some fucking laser tag in there. Okay? But don't fucking pass around a hat and expect me to put my fucking shekels in there. Okay? God is rich in love. Okay? And I'm earth poor. Okay? That's the thing. Earth poor. I'm not fucking Jeff Bezos. Okay? Go ask Jeff Bezos to him to put his money in the hat. All right? And then you come back and see me. All right? I'm paying for Amazon Prime. So in some ways, Jeff Bezos is a satellite representation, a proxy for me tithing. Anyway, how the fuck did we get here, ladies and gentlemen? I don't even know. I went to Sunday school when I was a kid. You know what's funny? This is one of my memories from Sunday school. There's a couple things. And I don't know if my parents took me out of regular church because this, besides like bursting into a ball of flames when I walked in the room. But they one time chose our church to be like on a TV program where they had like the big cameras and they were like broadcasting it and you could watch it on TV and shit. And I remember I was so infatuated with the cameras and I didn't know what was going on. No one fucking prepped me. I wasn't groomed to be on a church broadcast. And I remember some shit gave me a heads up, got me camera ready at all. I don't even know what pants I was wearing. I'm just looking dead center in the middle of a camera. Every time I see a camera look in my direction, I'm just fucking having a staring contest with it. Just looking. Trying to see who's on the other end. And, shut the fuck up, computer. And the guy kept pointing for me to look away. And then every time he would, I would be like, what? Why would I be looking up at this dude fucking talking in tongues and shit while you're over here recording me? That's not okay. But that was one of my memories, was just like, it was the funniest interaction. Great story to tell on a podcast. But another thing was when I got introduced to this Sunday school, when you're like the new kid and you go in there and they're like, hey, so where are you from? For some reason, I thought you were, a couple things I thought as a kid. I thought where you were born was where your dad was from. For some fucking reason, I just got that in my head. So people would be like, hey, Evan, where you from? New York, baby. I'm from the East Coast. Red Hook, Brooklyn. Shout out, And I would just tell people I was from fucking Brooklyn when I was a little kid, not realizing. And then I think I said it in front of my parents. And my dad was like, mijo, why do you keep telling people you're from Brooklyn? Like, because that's where you're from. And I'm from where you're from, And I had to learn that one the hard way. Okay. And another thing that I thought when I was a kid, for some fucking reason, when I was a little kid, I thought that your birthday changed. Okay. Because I realized one year that one day my birthday was on a Thursday. So when it came close to my birthday again, they were like, when's your birthday? I was like, it's the 25th November on Thursday. And they were like, Thursday, are you sure? And they looked and they were like, no, it's not on Thursday. It's on Tuesday this year or something. And I go, what? And they go, yeah, birthdays change, like what day it is. And I was like, fuck. So then for some reason, when people ask me my birthday, I would just shift the date a little bit. And I'd be like, this year I think it's November 17th, coming in hot, big stretch from the last one. It's just, it's the simple shit that gets away from me sometimes. I can go complex, deep, and we could talk about aliens and shit and the meaning of life, but you fucking ask me to balance a checkbook, maybe your boy's going to have a problem. Okay. Speaking of balancing checkbooks, that really paid off learning how to do that in class, huh? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, let's learn about the Pythagorean theory and how to balance a checkbook. Do you remember that when people would say, oh, these kids, they don't even know how to balance a checkbook. Why the fuck would I? I got a goddamn robot in my goddamn pocket I walk around with that can make calls and also show me anybody naked on the internet. You're right. I have a slave robot that does whatever I want to automatically, but I'm going to learn how to I'm going to get out there with a fucking stone and chisel and do some fucking archaic caveman shit. Fuck out of my face, Gary. I don't know, just felt like a Gary. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming in hot. Coming in hot on a Monday, you know? That's just what we do. Everybody knows it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monday, the ceremony. Okay? We're spreading love. We're getting positive. So come in thy neighbor. What? I was talking to the Lord, okay? Come is just not a good word to use anymore, okay? If you don't think when someone says, hey, I'm coming, if you don't automatically think of a dirty joke, fuck out of my face, Gary. Not a friend of mine. Can't be my friend, pal, okay? Because we're never going to see eye to eye, okay? You can believe in whatever politicians you want. You can believe in the vaccinated. You can believe in the unvaccinated. Great. Podcast just got flagged by saying that. But if you don't think coming is a funny word in a regular sentence, you can't be my friend, pal. Sorry. Probably shouldn't even be in the same country as me. I'm being honest with you guys. That was something that was kind of crazy yesterday. I saw a news article. I wasn't going to talk about this, but we already got the podcast flag with the vaccinated, unvaccinated. This article titled, The Weird Shit That They're Doing to People with the Scare Tactics to Get People to Get Vaccinated. The unvaccinated are behind the next pandemic. What? Huh? You mean it isn't the pre-existing conditions? It isn't COVID-19? It isn't the lab-created COVID-19? That's not what's behind the pandemic? It wasn't politicians dragging their feet for the past year to win an election at the expense of people's health? It wasn't any of that. It's the unvaccinated, you know? Shit's wild out there in them streets. All I gotta say, my opinion on it, listen, people want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice too. That's the greatest thing about this country, and people kind of forget that. It's the fucking land of liberty, home of the brave, people of the free, huh? That's another thing. Don't quote me, all right? You can do whatever you want. You take responsibility for your own health. The idea that the government is going to keep you safe and that some untested vaccine is going to be the solution to all your problems. It's a crazy thing to put your faith in that. Dude, you ever tried to... listen, I did a different lifetime ago. Worked a construction job at, I think I talked about this, NASA Institute. Okay? Was there for a while. Not nearly as glamorous as it sounds. This is actually, fun fact, where I got this NASA cup. I got actually at the NASA facility. I love it. It's my favorite cup. It's the coolest thing I ever got from that job. But I had to deal a lot with government people. A lot with their administrative shit. And it's so archaic, outdated. And it's just, I don't think the government is that good. There's probably a small section of 1%, the 1% that's like pulling the strings and they got their own shit. But I think there's just so many people that are just not good at their job. I was talking to a buddy yesterday. This is an actual conversation that happened between my mom, myself, and a doctor that we went and saw. My mom was having some knee pain a couple years back. And she's an athlete. She's a beast, you know, shout out, running through the desert. She was running, she was getting bad knee pain. So we went to a doctor just to, you know, we were going to see maybe they can do a scan, get an x-ray, see what's going on. Maybe some joints, maybe, you know, tendon, ligament, maybe just something was rubbing, you know. And we're hoping for something, whether it was going to be physical therapy, anything. We just wanted to get an opinion, to see what we were really dealing with. Was it something that was just rest could fix, or was it going to need something more? And this doctor, he walks in. The man is about 250 pounds, obese, by every sense of the word. And he's talking to my mom, and he goes, "How old are you?" And I believe at the time my mom was like 50, late 50s, yeah, maybe late 50s. I actually don't know. Anyway, so, and then he goes, oh, and how often are you running? And then she tells him like 3 or 4 days a week. He goes, listen, you're done running. He says, once you pass the age of 35, you gain 5 pounds every year, every 5 years. And he says, running is done for you. You can't run anymore. And I literally started laughing at the guy. And he was just like, he looked at me like, and my mom started laughing too, because she was like, this is so fucking ridiculous. But he was like, you will see. And then he was like, I forgot how old I was at the time, but he was like, this is it. You're going to see in the next years, like the muscle starts going away. And I'm just like, what about the dudes that are in their 60s that are still jacked, still getting after it? They defy logic. Like, that's not science. Science is actually like the reality of going to the gym, working out, taking control of your health, doing everything that you can do to get better. I remember like, and the point I'm getting at is that like some doctors, they're not just like these heroes that are like all seeing, all educational. Just like there's shitty people in every walk of life, every single job, there are shitty people in those jobs. A lot of them. Why do you think malpractice insurance pays out so much? Because there's a lot of people that fuck up and they're not personally accountable for it. This isn't me attacking the healthcare system. I'm sure there's phenomenal healthcare providers, but this is also a big part of why I didn't want to be a nurse. I know I've talked about this ad nauseum, but a huge thing is because I think there's too much responsibility put on people that shouldn't have responsible of your health and shouldn't be in charge of it. I remember just like the crazy, and this was probably my last interaction with a healthcare system, was when I one year got like this crazy rash. And like, long story short, I had this rash that would like, I broke out in it one day and I was burning all over and it was crazy. It was like I was turning to the Human Torch. And it lasted for about an hour. I took Benadryl, went away, and then the next day it came back again. And then it kind of just stayed lukewarm on me for like over a year, and did a bunch of tests and everything, and they couldn't find out what was causing it. And then I forgot. Yeah, like I had all my histamines were really heightened. They were like, you're allergic to something, but we can't figure out what's going on. And then they started putting me on all this medication that they were telling me was, what's it called? Antihistamines. And I was like, okay, because, I was just in so much pain. And I just thought they were antihistamines. Antihistamines a lot of times aren't really too brutal. But then I knew it was Christmas. It was Christmas, and I remember feeling kind of empty. And meaning that I was around family, I was around friends, I was going to Christmas parties. And I remember just being like, fuck, I don't feel anything. I feel empty inside. I remember looking out the goddamn window on Christmas and like on the drive home and just being like, fuck, why do I feel like this? I don't feel anything. Like I feel dead inside. And it was like kind of a weird thing because I'm just like, man, is this just the culmination of all the stress of dealing with this shit for an entire, 2 years or a year and a half, whatever it was at that point. And then I went home and I was like, something's got to be off. And I started looking at the medication they gave me. This medication they gave me, I forgot what the name was, monostat something. I don't remember exactly. But the B function of it was an antidepressant. And then I looked up the side effects for it, which weren't on the label. I had to go look for them. And one of them was suicidal thoughts and suicidal actions. And what that means is that there was enough people that were actually taking action on these suicidal thoughts, that they had to separate it and say that there's also suicidal actions. And then what'd your boy do? Got the fuck off the medication, told the doctor, I'm not taking this because it makes me feel this way, and you didn't tell me that this was also a side effect. You just gave it to me willy-nilly, like, hey, Ed, try this out. And here's the craziest part. Doctors get kickbacks for using certain medication over other ones. You know how all those medication consultants that go to these doctor offices that are usually like hot, young, attractive women to convince the doctor to use their medication, and then they get funding from it? It's fucked up. The U.S. is like, I think, the only country besides one other that are allowed to market pharmacology. Anyway, we went down a rabbit hole I was not expecting to get into, ladies and gentlemen. But the answer wasn't in medication. The answer was in me cutting out gluten and cutting out dairy. And that kind of just made the inflammation go down. And I'm just, I'm out here living my best life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that got crazy. I apologize. Okay. We got off on a tangent. I'll never apologize for my tangents, but I will apologize for my tangents, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And now we're back. Got off on a tangent. It's a bad habit. Damn it. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we call a segue, okay? Just a little bit to take us to the next story, which I got a banger for you, okay? A banger of a story. This article title, Athletes to Sleep on Anti-Sex Cardboard Beds at Olympic Games Amid COVID. This article came out yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Lustful Olympic athletes should think twice before making the bedrock in Tokyo. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. Making the bedrock in Tokyo, that's a very funny bar. The world's best sport competitors are set to spend their nights on cardboard beds, allegedly designed to collapse under the weight of fornicators to discourage sex amid COVID-19. Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys something. To whoever designed these beds to be made out of cardboard, think that not having a bed is going to stop people from fucking. To quote the great Dr. Malcolm, Jurassic Park, life finds a way. You're telling me you're sitting here with the greatest athletes on planet Earth. You don't think they're going to fuck on the floor, on a counter. You don't think they're going to go, hey, yeah, send me a bed, air mattress. Listen, some of these athletes could probably have sex in the air, okay? They'll fill up. You get some of these, what are they? The swimmers that do crazy shit in the water. They're like choreographed swimmers. Why can't I think of the goddamn word? It's blowing my mind now. It's blowing my mind. Someone's yelling it at me right now. We're going to lose our mind. What is it called? Olympic swimming type. Nope, we don't need those sports. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry that we did this to you right now. We're never going to know it. I'm sorry. This is taking too long. But that's crazy that if that's really why they made cardboard beds that are able to withstand just sleeping, it's kind of crazy because I've heard that from about the legend that is the Olympic Village, the amount of sexual fluids that are switched. That's really the United Nations, okay, is that Olympic Village. You want to show world peace, you go in there with a microscope and a fucking test tube and sweep up any fluid you find on the Olympic Village, and that's the world right there. That is world peace right there. I actually think that's where we should be having a lot of our breeding done, in the Olympic Village. Those are the superheroes. Okay. I'm looking at pictures. They legit have cardboard beds. At least 2 athletes have already tested positive for the coronavirus at the Tokyo Olympic Village. Another resident of the village, a visitor abroad involved in the games planning, was reported to have tested positive a day earlier. This sucks, man. They're okay. They have Olympic condoms. I would love one of those. Just an elite athlete's rubber. Okay. Just with the Olympic rings. That would be pretty cool, right? But apparently people can jump on it, the bed, and it's totally fine. So maybe this was just a hoax. The Olympics is crazy. What's crazy about the Olympics is how the athletes don't really get paid. Like when you find out that if you win a gold medal, your government pays you, I think, $60,000 for something you have trained your entire life for. Something that every 4 years you get the opportunity to compete in. $60,000 if you win gold medal. That was how much it was the last time I checked. That's a regular person's, like a regular salary a year, $60,000. And you're the greatest athlete in a sport in the entire world. And that's how much you're making. And it's every 4 years is the opportunity. I feel like you got to be making more money than that. And only for this reason. Not only for this reason, because it's amazing, but the fact that these channels, the Olympic Games, generates so much fucking money. Like, that's the thing. This is the decency of all things in the world. Is the person that's doing most of the stuff should be making most of the money when it comes to these kind of situations. Like, I'm not saying that it should be reversed where the athlete's making 90% of the money and then, the organization's making 10%. Listen, it's not easy to fucking decide the Olympics, to pick a location, have the Olympic Committee, and just have this huge event on every 4 years. That's not easy. But I feel like there has to be better compensation. You should be able to be an Olympic athlete and be deemed by your government as something that should be getting probably a salary yearly, right? You become an Olympic athlete. You make it to the Olympic team, training at the Olympic center. You shouldn't be forced to go get paid by someone else through endorsements. You should have those opportunities, but it's almost like as if Uber drivers, how they charge a small fee, but then they're like, oh, the Uber drivers, they make their money off of the tips. So it's like they're incentivizing the people getting the food. Hey, tip a lot because this is what most of their money is. Hey, maybe pay them better. Still give a tip for the delivery, but don't force the cost on other people. It's like when people want you to do work for exposure. Fuck out of here, Gary. The fuck out of here. Where was this also a big deal at? This is a big deal in college. When you look at college players who generate an insane amount of money for their college through games and ticket sales. What was his name? Tebow. Tim Tebow? I think that was his name. Christian fella. He would like to tithe. He was making so much money for his college. We're talking millions, and he wasn't even seeing a penny of it. It's crazy that a college can do that. It's just nuts. Like, you have to find a way, like, college athletes should get paid. If you're generating any kind of money, especially we're now in a world with TikTok. We're now in a world with Instagram, with influencers, where we have kids being able to monetize their existence and what they're doing. And shout out to them. It's great. Free world. Welcome to it, baby. But you have these athletes who are locked into these archaic, draconian laws. What is it, California? Hey. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to my California kin. All right. Still such a dope landscape, California. But whatever's happened there is just fucked up. whatever's happening there fucked up. Maybe I'll go back one day and I'll try Texas, California. No one's even thought about that, you know? But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for being here. Okay? Making it through this episode. All right? I was trying to put on, where are we at? I want to thank every single person who has listened to this podcast. Listen to the podcast. I'm sorry I got so emotional about doctors and Western medicine. But I'll never apologize, because at the end of the day, I am who I am. Because I am who I am. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to go out and I want you to love somebody. And I want you to come for somebody. Cometh forth is what I meaneth. Make love in your hearts, inside of you, deep inside. 7 minutes in heaven inside of you, ladies and gentlemen. Read the good book. Read the good book. And when I say read the good book, I mean Goosebumps. The greatest child novel series ever invented, and it doesn't get the respect it deserves. Goosebumps. Shout out to Goosebumps, ladies and gentlemen. And shout out to you. We're ready to get weird on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Tell someone you love them. Love yourself. And remember, no matter what, I still love you.